Hi, this is Corey from MECFS Navigator, and I just had surgery. I had a hysterectomy for adenomyosis, which was pretty severe, and fibroids. I had, leading up to it, 4 ER visits, 3 for severe pain, like 9-10 level pain, and 1 for a lot of bleeding. That was not sustainable, obviously. For those who don't know me, I was very severe, and I have worked my way down to mild moderate. I know what it's like to be bedbound and to only be able to sit up for minutes at a time and to take breaks chewing your food and to drink Ensure all day and all that. I do. So this is my surgery perspective from being mild moderate, but I think I would have had to have done it if I was very severe, because the ER visits would have been crashing me, and that was unsustainable. So I think it's doable, even at very severe, looking back to where I was. If you need a surgery, you need a surgery. What I did to prepare was the whole month before, I rested more carefully than usual, and the week before I aggressive rested, I stayed mostly in bed and mostly in a dim room, and I tried to minimize my sensory input to really rest up for the surgery. And then I got COVID. I found out the day before my surgery, like the morning of, I had the sniffles and I had a bad feeling about it, so I tested and I did have COVID. I took metformin and Paxlovid right away. Metformin is supposed to reduce your chances of long COVID for healthy people, and they extrapolate that it might help us not get more severe. And my COVID never got worse than a sniffle, and so that was great. I then had to reschedule the surgery to a month later, and I rested for another month, and again aggressive rested the week leading up, and that made it, I was very well rested before the surgery because of that combination of things. Surgery itself was laparoscopic, that's minimally invasive. I talked with the anesthesiologist ahead of time about ME, and they were very good about it. There are certain indications for ME and anesthesiology. I will leave in the notes below, but that hospital didn't use any of the things that are counterindicated for ME/CFS and POTS. So I also have POTS. So it was fine. I also have the red hair gene thing that, even though I have strawberry blonde, my mom is a redhead and I have the redhead gene, and anesthesiologists know about this. It's a gene that makes anesthesia not work as well on you. So even though my ME med makes me more sensitive and the MCAS makes me more sensitive to meds, that apparently trumps it because I ended up needing more anesthesia rather than less. But the plan was to start low and slow, and that worked out. Yeah, the redhead gene makes you need more. So anesthesia all went well. The anesthesiologist also gave me 3 different kinds of anti-nausea meds so that I wouldn't throw up afterwards. He didn't want me to engage my abs after abdominal surgery, and that was my cat. So 3 kinds of anti-nausea, 1 patch behind the ear and 2 in the IV, I think, or it might have been 1 oral and 1 in the IV, but either way it worked. No vomiting, no nausea, and I came out okay. And when they brought me into the room that my husband could join me in, I was on a gurney, and they wanted to move me to a hospital bed because they were going to keep me 24 hours. Usually it's an outpatient procedure, but they wanted to keep me longer because I was weaker and needed the help and the monitoring. So they used a mattress under me. Like they took an air mattress and sort of rolled me over and got it under me and then rolled me back over and then inflated it. And then they lifted the inflated mattress onto the bed and then they rolled me over to take it out again. And that worked great because I wasn't strong enough to get myself from one bed to the other. And that was a perfect method. I also could not pee. I couldn't get up to pee. And instead of a catheter, they had this machine that was like a little cylindrical sponge thing like this with a tube and holes in it. And they stick it between your legs and they have a pee pad under you. And then they tell you to pee while you're lying down, which is psychologically really difficult, but it worked out. It works. They do sell those for home use if you're bedbound and need to use that. It was much easier than any kind of bedpan or anything like that. I would highly recommend it. I'll link it down below. The other thing, pain management. I was just getting IV pain meds, different things, alternating whatever they thought was, according to my pain levels. That all went fine. I got discharged about 24 hours later, and then I had pre-bought a thing that massages your legs to keep them from getting blood clots because I knew I might not be very mobile after the surgery. I probably should have had one of these for bed with ME/CFS before, but thankfully I didn't get any blood clots during that time. But I had those on my legs while in bed the first few days when I was having trouble just moving my legs even. And to get to the bathroom, we put a couple chairs in the 10 feet between the bed and the toilet. And my husband was on one side and I used a cane on the other side, and I'd get to a chair and rest and get to a chair and rest and then get to the toilet, use it. So that's what I did at home. And he worked from home and did that for me and got me liquids and food and whatever during that time. I needed help getting out of the shower for several weeks, maybe 3 weeks. I needed help getting out of the shower and the bath because that really exhausts me. So even after I was making my way on my own to the toilet with the chairs, I needed help with a shower because it's slippery and you're exhausted after the shower. Obviously, I use a shower chair, but until I was cleared to use the bath, and then I used the bath and his help to get back. The reschedule put it right up against a trip to New York with my daughter for her college tours. Oddly enough, I was doing great by the time we had to leave for New York. I got cleared by the surgeon to travel with my second post-op. She said it was fine. I was in such great shape. I was having to hold myself back from doing more stuff the couple days before so that I could rest to be good for the trip, for the flight. I always fly. I have to fly reclined, in business class. That's the only way I can fly. I'm getting to the point where it might be possible to take a 3 or 4 hour trip sitting up, but I'm not quite there yet. And this is a 5 to 6 hour trip. So I can't yet. Thankfully I have the resources to do that. Otherwise I wouldn't fly. That would not be sustainable sitting up that long. But I actually came into the surgery in less good shape than I came out of it. All the rest that I did before and after really helped me, and I did not crash, and everything went well. So I think I would have been even okay. I might have crashed, but I think it would have been worth it had I been severe or very severe. I'm sure I would have crashed, but I think with all the rest before and after and the careful pacing and everything, I would have been okay. Also, obviously, the first week I kept the room dark for my recovery, and tried to pace myself on screens and things and with sensory, to give myself as much rest as possible coming out. And then I just, like 2 weeks later, I went upstairs where there's more light and was on the couch, and stayed mostly on the couch. So, yeah, I just, as I could, I did more, but I was very slow and very intentional about doing more a bit at a time. And the New York trip went great, and I came out of there really good. I'm now back to the baseline I was at before the party in September that I did that took me down a notch. And it is now May, so that gives you an idea of how damaging that party was. I just sat up too long during that party. I didn't lie down. I think sensory-wise it would have been okay, but I should have spent most of the party lying on the couch, not sitting up, So there you go. So if you're having a surgery, I wish you well and good luck. And yeah, take care. Good luck on your journeys.